Imagine a world where your greatest passion is taken from you in a single, brutal moment. That's exactly what happened to Zita, a brilliant pianist from a small town in Hungary. From the moment she could reach the keys, music was her life. Her fingers danced across the ivory, weaving melodies that could make you weep or soar. By her early 20s, she was a rising star. Her concerts selling out, her name whispered with awe in the classical music world. But fame, as we know, can cast a long, dark shadow. A rival, consumed by a venomous jealousy, decided that if he couldn't surpass her, he would silence her forever. One cold evening, as Zita was leaving the concert hall, her life changed irrevocably. Thugs, hired by her rival, ambushed her. They didn't want her money. They wanted her future. They targeted her hands, the very source of her magic. The attack was swift and devastating. When she awoke in the hospital, the horrifying truth crashed down on her. Her hands were shattered, her fingers mangled beyond repair. Her friends and family tried to reach her, but she had built a fortress of silence around herself. One day, her old mentor, a wise and patient teacher named Maestro Laurent, came to visit. The music is not in your fingers, it is in your soul. You must find a new way to let it out. His words were a tiny spark in her vast darkness. A new way. What could that mean? The thought lingered, stubbornly refusing to fade. Days turned into weeks, and that spark grew into a flicker of an idea. She couldn't play, but she could still hear the music in her head more vividly than ever. She could still see the notes, feel the crescendos, and understand the intricate harmonies. She started to write. At first, it was agonizing. Holding a pen was a struggle, her handwriting a painful scrawl, but she persisted. She poured all her pain, her anger, and her unbroken love for music onto the page. She began composing. She composed with a fury she'd never known as a performer. They were the sound of a heart breaking and healing, of a spirit refusing to be crushed. She composed symphonies of sorrow and concertos of hope. She sent her first completed symphony to a renowned orchestra under a male pseudonym, fearing the world would only see her as a tragic figure, a cripple. The orchestra was stunned. They had never encountered music so powerful, so raw, so utterly brilliant. They had to perform it. The night of the premiere, Zita sat hidden in the back of the concert hall. As the first notes of her symphony filled the air, the audience was captivated. The music told her story without a single word, the soaring joy of her early career, the violent chaos of the attack, the crushing weight of despair, and finally, the slow, defiant climb back towards the light. When the final, triumphant chord faded, the hall erupted. It wasn't just applause, it was a storm of emotion. The conductor, tears streaming down his face, called for the composer to come to the stage. Trembling, Zita made her way down the aisle. A gasp rippled through the crowd as they saw her scarred hands. In that moment, they understood. Her rival had tried to silence her, but he had failed. He had taken her hands, but in doing so, he had unleashed her mind. Zita became one of the most celebrated composers of her generation, her music a timeless testament to the fact that the human spirit, like the most beautiful melody, can never truly be broken. See you next time.